Today we are exploring Brussels, the vibrant capital of Belgium. From Europe's most beautiful square, across palaces and street art, right down to the world-famous Belgian beer. We'll show you around some of the highlights in this incredible city that we have called home for over 6 years.
Good morning!
Good morning, folks. Welcome back to Belgium.
Welcome to Brussels, the capital of Belgium, also capital of Europe, home of the EU institutions, and also the city where we have lived for 6 or 7 years. It's where our apartment. It's where our apartment is located. If you've been following our videos, you know we rented out our apartment, so we're not living there at the moment or here at the moment, but it's actually our home city, I would say, where we usually live.
In our previous video, we showed you around the place where we used to live when we were younger, the place where we met
Tongeren, oldest city of Belgium now, capital of Belgium.
Technically, and that is the feeling that we both had when we arrived here this morning by train.
This feels like home.
This is home.
This is home.
This is home.
Yep.
I'm back home. So right now we are on the Kunstberg, the Mont in French, because as we told you in the previous video, Belgium has 3 official languages, Dutch, French and German. Let's forget about the German for a moment, because we are in Brussels, where it's mainly French and a little bit of Dutch. So in French this is the Mont des Arts, in Dutch this is the Kunstberg. Translated into English this would be the Art Mountain, which sounds very dramatic, especially since we don't really have, that was a wasp, we don't really have any proper mountains in Belgium, but this is a beautiful gardeny bit where you have a nice view of Brussels if we climb just a few more stairs. So let's do that
to the top
for our first proper view of Brussels. Well, yours. We live here.
Oh no, our tenant lives here.
Our tenant lives here.
We even have some street art here. It's called Art Hill, by the way, so...
Oh, I thought Art Mountain. Okay.
Or Art Mountain. Well, I mean, it's not a mountain. We don't have any mountains in Belgium, so let's call it hill. Hey, look at that. That looks really cool. Didn't see that before.
That looks like it was a lot of work.
Few hours of hiking. We made it.
These incredible Belgian mountains.
Yeah. But yeah, we're making it to the top here, and here behind us you can see the city of Brussels with right over there the tower of the city hall.
This is actually one of my favorite cityscape views of Brussels.
It's
like
really
the view
nice
you get
area.
here,
You have the
it's
garden
really
here,
nice.
you have some historical buildings here. On this side you have some more historical buildings, and it just gives you a great view of the city over there.
Wow, look at this building. Look how nice it is with the little towers and all the detail in the facade. Brussels has a bit of a bad rap, both I think in Belgium as well as abroad, but it's not because it's not beautiful. It's a really, really beautiful city. We absolutely love living here.
It's a very beautiful city if you pick the places you go, right? I mean, every city has its good neighborhoods and bad neighborhoods, and unfortunately Brussels also has some neighborhoods that are just really badly maintained and are a bit in disrepair.
But I think that the bad reputation is more because people think it's unsafe.
Yeah, and specifically in Belgium, a lot of people think it's unsafe. Like when we were living here and people had to come here from our hometown, we were like,
family and friends.
I have to go to big bad Brussels.
And it's actually, I mean, it's actually really okay. We lived here for 6 or 7 years.
Okay, yeah.
6 years, I think.
I mean, obviously it's a big city, and it's the only really big city in Belgium. There's about 1 million people living here, which is even not that big.
And there are a few neighborhoods that are not so great, but it's like anywhere. It's like any bigger city.
Big cities come with some crime rates, but in general I think it's fairly safe.
We
Never
loved
had any
it.
problems.
We loved it, like we absolutely love it. And we think by the end of this video, you will love Brussels too and want to visit here if you haven't been here yet.
Or should visit again?
If you have been here. One moment. So this is the royal palace of the royal family, obviously, of Belgium. King Philippe and his family, they live here. Well, they don't actually technically live here because there are two royal palaces in Brussels. There's one here and there's one in Laken, very close to where our apartment is. Like literally, if he would invite us over for tea, we could have become good neighbors, but he never really did. So this is the royal palace in name only, I think, like administratively.
It's where the king does his official business. It's big business, small business.
So this is whenever foreign heads of state come to Belgium, we think this is where they bring them.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful golden gate. A really nice design with some nice architectural elements as well. Unfortunately, it looks like a little bit dirty at the moment, but it's because it's been here for about 200-300 years and it needs a little bit of cleaning and renovation, but it's a really beautiful building.
We sort of struck out with the weather today because it's not raining, but it's not really good either. No, it's pretty overcast, it's pretty grey, not very sunny.
A
bit moody, but the benefit of that is I've been trying to film a waving in the wind Belgian flag for 2 days now. I think today is gonna work out because there's one right on top of the palace. Lenses, people, lenses!
See what I have to put up with?
Look at that! Sun is out!
The sun is coming out! What a beautiful day!
Immediately makes a big difference.
Yeah, it makes
like it's right there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but
almost gone again.
Yeah.
But we had like a sliver of sun for about 15 seconds.
Winning at life, folks. No wonder the king doesn't live here though, because it's way too close to the road. Like,
it's very noisy.
It's quite noisy. I too would prefer the tranquil second residence.
At the moment the palace is closed for visiting. It's only open, I think, from the 21st of July, Belgium's national holiday, national day, the day of independence, until the end of August somewhere. It's already September now. I'm not sure if it opened this year, probably not.
We are on our way to what is arguably Brussels' most beautiful spot, the Grand Place, the
Belgium's
main
most beautiful
square.
spot, I would say.
Belgium's most beautiful spot.
Even in 2010 it was elected as Europe's most beautiful square, so yeah. It's one of my favorites. It's actually my favorite spot here in Brussels.
And it was only recently renovated, so it looks even more grand than it did just a few years ago.
In front of us.
You can see the first sneak peek of the Grand Place over there. We're gonna head over there in just a little bit. But in this little street, right off the Grand Place, you have lots of these little shops that have, well,
chocolate, beer.
I was gonna say the typical Belgian export products, which means Belgian fries, chocolate, and beer. We'll show you one of the beer shops because I think you'll find we have quite a large selection. So they have a small selection of, I would guess, 250 beers.
It says 250. Yeah, we have, I think, more than 1,000 different beers here in Belgium, so there's a really, really wide selection. Some of the most famous ones include, of course, Duvel, Leffe, Delirium, but also loads and loads of beers from smaller breweries, and it's so nice to have such a beer culture in Belgium because you can try different beers, and like every year there seems to be more and more small breweries also coming, which is like will make small batches and have really, really good beers. They even have one of my favorite, well actually probably my favorite beer, is Blue Chimay, Chimay Bleu. It's a Trappist, it's brewed by monks at a monastery. And it's a really good one. It's a dark beer, maybe not so much great for summer, maybe a bit more of a winter beer because it's very strong, very tasty, but that's my favorite one.
This is a Chimay. This is the one I would buy Naick when I needed to get him in a good mood for something, if I needed something or wanted something. It is a really, really good beer. So if you would want to fit all the Belgian beers into just one shop, you would need to shop about 4 times the size of this one.
At least.
And we are going to have ourselves a beer, hopefully at the Grand Place.
Let's go.
He smelled beer, people. Look at him. He's getting thirsty.
Out of my way, out of my way. Where's my beer? I haven't had my daily beer yet. My morning beer. It's what all Belgians do for breakfast. You just have beers, makes us happy for the day, keeps you healthy. Oh, it's just a joke. Don't drink beer in the morning. Actually, I have on occasions, but let's not talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, now for the main event of the day.
The Grand
Brussels
Place
Grand Place
of Brussels.
It's really, really beautiful. And it's been recently completely restored. They've been working on it for many years. I think they only completed it last year, I think, to fully complete it. Beautiful historic buildings of medieval times, or a little bit after medieval times. A lot was destroyed actually. The city hall dates back to the medieval times, and these beautiful restored buildings with gold plating, nice architectural, typical Flemish architecture.
And so they all look quite clean and quite crisp on the outside, because they've recently been sanded and Lord knows what other stuff people do to freshen up buildings to restore them a bit.
Let's walk towards the middle of the square. It's about the size of a football field, maybe a little bit wider, but approximately football field. It's not super big, but it's just lined and lined with these beautiful historic buildings.
There's not an ugly building on this square, I tell you.
Yeah.
That's true. That's actually true.
Actually really true. One of the remarkable things actually about City Hall is that it is not
City Hall?
symmetrical. That it is not symmetrical.
It's not? You're
No.
kidding.
Count the windows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 windows on that side. It's not symmetrical building. It's also not symmetrical towards the square. It is said it was done by accident and that the architect, when he found that, killed himself. It's just a legend. It is not true because part of it was built and then the other part was built in a later stage, or it was built in separate phases, and that's probably why it's not symmetrical. And then behind us here, it's a museum now. It's currently the Museum of Brussels, about the history of the city of Brussels. In Dutch it's called the bread house, broodhuis, because before this building was built there was actually a hall where they sold bread. And in French it's actually called the King's House. Not sure why, because no king ever lived here. It was not related to any kings. It was a long build before there was even a king in Belgium. But King's House.
Out of the many beautiful buildings on this square, my favorite ones are on this side, where you have the cafes. Just incredible. They have more gold than the other buildings in general. I especially love the middle one out of those 5. I think that's my favorite building out of all the buildings on this square.
Most of it is actually restaurants and bars, so it is actually possible to have a beer here at Belgium's most beautiful square, and Belgian beer at Belgium's most beautiful square.
We don't do it that often because we don't often come to the main square when we live here.
Often, but sometimes we would come here just because it's so beautiful. Wherever we were really passing by, we just come here and stop by for 5 minutes.
And since today we're being a tourist in our own city.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a touristy thing to do, but still, it's the most beautiful square.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
This is fruity. Good choice for me, because you picked it.
Yeah, I picked I picked a Hopkin, I think it's called. It's a pretty strong, very bitter beer, very hoppy. I like it.
Which one is this?
It's a Lambic. It's a white beer from Brussels, actually.
Oh, I actually really like this because it doesn't look like a kriek or something, like the traditional more cherry type beer, the very sweet one. I really like that one. I've never had it, I think. Ooh, this is very bitter. That's really good.
It's really good. It's a bit sour, not really sweet actually. It's fruity and a bit sour.
It's not really the clearest beer. You can't really see fruit. See, we can't see Naick at the moment, but yours is a lot clearer.
Yeah, but yours is a white beer, and it's normal for a white beer to be a bit more
opaque. Is really good.
For me, this is one of the best things to do, especially if you visit here as a tourist. come here, come to the Graplas and have yourself a really good Belgian beer. In this bar and probably in the other ones as well, you can even buy tasting menus for beers. It's then you get small ones, about 1/3 of one, but then you get 4 or even 8 or 10, so you can try many different ones and see which flavors suit you, because there's so many different beers in Belgium. There's bitter beers, dark beers, light beers, strong beers, fruity beers, sweet beers, everything you can imagine, so there's a beer for everyone. We're now en route to Brussels and probably Belgium's most famous statue.
Not the biggest, not necessarily the most beautiful one, but the most famous one.
Certainly not the biggest, I think.
Basically, you just follow the crowds and then you'll get there.
Critics rave, the crowd grows wild. Present you the statue of Manneken Pis, little man P. Wait, where is it? Is that small? Oh, there, the tiny little thing.
And today, Manneken Pis is dressed as a guard.
I think he has more than 1,000, I think maybe even more than 3,000 different dresses that they use to dress him up. They come from different countries, have been gifted or have been made for special occasions. It's actually a little guy, it's probably a 2-year-old boy who is just peeing, this little man P, Manneken Pis. And he's like the national symbol of Belgium and especially a symbol for Brussels. And it refers a little bit to, yeah, the humor we have here in Belgium, especially in Brussels. Like, don't take anything just too seriously, just have a wee. The earliest records of Little Man P, Manneken Pis, date back to the 15th century. It's not known for sure where it comes from and how it was created. There are a few legends that surround Manneken Pis. I think the most famous one, the most widely known one, is that the French were sieging the city of Brussels. They were trying to invade it. They had been trying for days to enter the city. They were not succeeding, but then came up with a plan to put explosives inside the city. He smuggled it inside the city and wanted to blow up part of the city to get in. The invading army succeeded. They went in, they put the explosives, put it on fire, but then our hero, Manneken Pis, came to the rescue. 2-year-old boy. He just peed on the explosives. Yeah, so the thing that you put next to explosives, you put on fire. He peed on it, it went out, and the crowd went wild. They started cheering. No explosives went off. Little man P. He's only 60 centimeters tall.
And yet, whenever you come here, I always have a hard time remembering exactly where it is. But whenever you're close, you will know, because there are always so many people
crowds.
around
now
here.
It's not that many, but like when you come here during weekends, there's usually like 100 people standing around who are trying to catch a glimpse of where is Manneken P? Is that him? Is that his wee wee?
You can actually, oh yes, you can see the wee wee.
Yeah.
You can, yeah. We know this is only our second video of Belgium. There will probably be a few more, but by now you may be thinking, God damn it folks, show me some of that good Belgian food. And we know we haven't really shown a lot of typical Belgian dishes so far.
But we're planning on making a video just dedicated to Belgian food.
Belgian food, maybe go a little bit more deep into the Belgian beer as well, because as you can see, Naick is obviously still thirsty.
Maybe some food, some chocolates,
so
beer.
That is gonna be our next video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already.
Yep.
If you're enjoying this one, because you're gonna love the next one. We're gonna munch on some really good stuff as well. But
we're gonna stop by a chocolate shop now, not to buy real chocolate, but just have a little snack, just to show you, get a little bit of a glimpse of what Brussels has to offer in terms of food.
And we're gonna get it at what is said to be Belgium's best and arguably possibly also most expensive chocolatier.
We're now in the Royal Galleries here. It's a maze of 3 galleries. This one is called the Queen's Gallery and it has lots of chocolate shops, as you can see right here, but also somewhere in the back. And then some small boutique shops.
Look at how beautiful this little shop is. It's amazing, like the stores here are so beautiful.
Even if you're not in the mood for buying something or buying chocolate or whatever, just come here. These have some of the most beautiful shops in all of Brussels. And I mean, the decor and the architecture is just amazing.
As beautiful as this shop is, this is not the one that we came here to find. We are going to try something special from Pierre Marcolini. Pierre Marcolini is often said to be the fanciest, best chocolatier in all of Belgium, and that is saying a lot because we're really a country that's very proud of our chocolate and pretty good at it. And we're gonna get a special little snack involving some chocolates.
I'm starting to salivate a little bit.
I want this one.
Caramel? Bonjour. Je veux bien un désir caramel, s'il vous plaît.
Malheureusement, les désirs, je viens de tous les vendre. J'en ai plus pour la journée.
Everything on the inside of this shop just looks amazing. They have mostly chocolates, like small little bonbons and chocolate based products. We wanted to try like a very small special chocolate cake that looked really, really good. They don't have it anymore today, but we found something else to munch on instead. Okay, so we didn't get our preferred snack.
Yeah, our preferred snack was an éclair actually. It's a small pastry stuffed with pudding and some nice chocolate on top. They don't make those anymore. They had something to replace it, which looked kind of similar, but they sold all of them today. And then we want to get a chocolate cake, also sold out. So you can see it's a really, really popular shop. But
It's a weekday. Ooh, what do we have here? Ooh, piece of paper. Yummy.
some very premium looking macaron. These are some pastries with different fillings. This one is made with chocolate from Venezuela, but it's still Belgian chocolate because it was processed as Belgian chocolate. Can I have a taste? Oh. See the layers of chocolate on the inside?
Oh, I do. That looks good. Is it good?
Oh yeah. Want to try the other half? It's probably the best macarons I've ever eaten. Yeah. But so
Chocolatey.
it's very chocolatey. So next time we will explore more of the food and of the chocolate in Brussels. Day after tomorrow probably we're coming back to Brussels and going to explore more.
So we hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a big thumbs up if you did. And we hope you also... You do the rest of the outro. We hope you'll subscribe.
Subscribe, like,
And join
all that
us
stuff.
for the next one. We're gonna
Now
munch
just
on good food, drink some good beer
Leave me for my food.
here in Brussels. See you in the next
Bye-bye.
one. Bye bye.